Yeah, so D1 training, it's a sports-based training facility. As you can see, it's going to have the look and the feel of a Division One athletic training facility. What it focuses. We have four age groups. So we have our rookie group, which is our 7 to 11-year-olds, and then we have our prep, which is 12 to 14. I'm sorry, our Devo is 12 to 14, our prep is 15 to 18, and then we have our adult classes, and everything is ran by a coach. It's really sports based. Each day has a different focus. It really, for me, gives kind of the vibes of when I played college football.
Yeah.
Every day had a different day, whether it was a leg day or it was an upper body day. If we were doing conditioning, are we doing speed, are we doing agility, are we doing, whatever it was. And so we had kind of that same curriculum and that same focus here.
Yep.
But now we're giving it to a much larger audience. And so we have athletes that want to pursue and go to college. We also have athletes that just want to get in better shape.
Welcome back to the Dispatch on Purpose. I'm your host, Amy Dahl, and I am excited to welcome you today, Marvin Brown, to the conversation
Hey,
today.
thank you.
Hey,
Thanks for
Marvin.
having me. Glad to
Yeah,
be here.
absolutely. Very excited to do this. So, um, you are in the process of opening a second gym, but you just opened a D1 gym in Chesapeake, which we're going to get to in a minute. But tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I grew up in South Jersey, then transitioned to moved here for high school in Chesapeake, went to Hickory High School, played football, played sports, did all that, and then went to James Madison University, where I played football, college football there, won a national championship
Woohoo.
recently.
That's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. And then last year, got inducted into the College Hall of Fame there for the university. Our team,
Oh,
I can't
nice.
say it's all me. I don't want to take full credit, but as part of our team, because of that championship team, was the first team that won at JMU, and really from a national perspective, kind of put it on the map. All of us got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, and so then doing that, got my master's from JMU as well. Met my wife there as well, and been in healthcare for about 15 years, and also chasing some more of the passion space with coaching and now D1. So just been a full circle moment of getting back to kind of the roots of what I wanted to do when I graduated, and now I'm here. So excited to be here with you.
That's awesome. So you're a local and went away. Congratulations, by the way. I had no idea about the College Football Hall of Fame. That
Thank
is
you,
really cool.
thank you.
And your family, we discovered actually just recently, even though we've known each other through our kids' baseball for a little while, you live right around the corner from my parents and my sister, and it's kind of all come full circle. But you are a local here. You came back. You're coaching football at one of the at Hickory,
Yes,
actually, at one of the
yes,
local high schools. And you have three kids, right? Tell us about
yes.
your family a little bit.
Yeah, so me and my wife, her name's 𝐸∞, but she goes by Day. We have a 15-year-old Devin, 8-year-old Grayson, and a 5-year-old Addison, who's the boss, who runs the show. She's actually the CEO of D1 Training, if you let her tell it. So this is her building, and so I'm glad to be talking with you in her building. But yeah, it's good. My parents live right down the street from me. Yeah, as you know, my father heavily involved in baseball, former professional baseball player, and then getting to coach with my younger brother Donnell, who he has a twin that's in Georgia, Ronell, and then my sister Benita, her daughter actually is our front desk worker here, Mariah. So it's really a family tie. So with everything that we're doing, and so whether it's coaching, whether it's working, my wife and I both work in healthcare. So we're just attached at every angle for everything that we do right now.
Oh, that's awesome. We have so many similarities because I started with my dad in real estate, and it's a family affair
Oh,
and
nice.
very similar. And we were talking earlier, we're both franchise owners now and going down that road.
Yeah.
Um, so you're opening a D1 gym. Tell my audience, because I'll be honest, like 2 weeks ago, I'd never heard of D1 gym. So first, we'll talk about kind of what the D1 gym is, and then really want to talk about your decision to open a business and a small business and what drove you to that and what your
Okay.
passion is.
Yeah, so D1 training, it's a sports-based training facility. As you can see, it's going to have the look and the feel of a Division One athletic training facility. What it focuses. We have four age groups, so we have our rookie group, which is our 7 to 11-year-olds, and then we have our prep, which is 12 to 14. I mean, I'm sorry, our Devo is 12 to 14, our prep is 15 to 18, and then we have our adult classes, and everything is ran by a coach. It's really sports based. Each day has a different focus. It really, for me, gives kind of the vibes of when I played college football. You know,
Yeah.
every day had a different day, whether it was a leg day or it was an upper body day. You know, if we were doing conditioning, or are we doing speed, are we doing agility, are we doing, whatever it was. And so we had kind of that same curriculum and that same focus here.
Yep.
But now we're giving it to a much larger audience. And so we have athletes that want to pursue and go to college. We also have athletes that just want to get in better shape. And how we define athlete is probably a little different than the world. We just say anybody with a goal. So whether
Yeah.
it's somebody that wants to get back in shape, that wants to get back to feeling how they used to feel, or it's
The mom,
the
the
mom,
moms.
the mom that wants to just get
Yeah.
back into a workout regimen. We have something for everybody, and it also, on the other end of it, has the competitiveness of, hey, I want to go and be a Division I athlete, or I want to go play college somewhere. So we can give them the tools and the skill sets to go ahead and accomplish that.
That is awesome. I think one of the things I love, oh man, you hit so many things I love about it's just somebody with a goal. And nowadays, it's so hard to make for some of these kids to make their high
Yeah,
school and sports teams, and you almost have to play travel sports to even get into some of the
yeah,
sports teams nowadays. But we're teaching kids that everybody can be an
yeah.
athlete,
Yeah.
and you're starting at a young age. At 7 years old, you're teaching them good habits in the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and a lot of people don't understand or really think about it, but when you think of, there's kind of two things when it comes to sports, and I'll use baseball. And so you have your skill development, which is learning how to hit,
Yeah.
learning how to swing a bat, learning how to catch, learning how to move, where to throw the ball and all those things. That's your skill development. But the
Yep.
other part that a lot of people don't focus on is the athletic development.
Yeah.
And in that window from 7 to 14, that's really the biggest opportunity of athletic development growth. And
Yeah.
so, and I think with everything getting more and more competitive,
Yes.
it's the things of learning how to move in your body.
Yeah.
Kids at 7 and 8, they get clumsy. They
They're
don't. They
awkward.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're growing at a rapid pace, and so we're helping them how to move. We're helping them get quicker and be more agile, understand how to navigate their body, so that when they go do the skill work and they go do the sport, they have a stronger tool belt.
Yeah.
And so I think for us, we just want to be kind of that supplement. Very important supplement
Yeah.
to their development, but it's equally as important.
Yeah.
We've seen kids in here, we have all these character words on the wall, and our word of the month this week is integrity. And so it's teaching kids, not just on the turf or in the weight room or on the field, of how to do the things that they're coached to do. But what are they doing when nobody's watching? Are they
Yeah.
listening to their parents? Are they listening to their coaches? Are they following the technique, the training, all those things? And so we like to say we're the place of the athlete. What I've kind of, doctor for Chesapeake, is we want to be the home of the athlete. I want to help these kids develop not only physically, athletically, and mentally, but also spiritually and socially, and so that they can be better citizens and learn how to navigate this world, and do it in a way that they feel they can compete at any level, and have the tools and the skill sets to do that. So,
I love it. That's really awesome. And you have all age groups. So you
yes,
have moms like me that are going
yes.
to start in 2 weeks. I'm putting it on record. By the time this launches, I will be getting up at 5 a.m. and joining you at least 3 days a week. And then my husband will be the other 3 days. But
That works. Chris, my GM Chris will love. We have a 5 a.m. club, so those that are watching, there's a club. It's a coming to Army. Amy will be joining the Army here shortly.
well,
It's
I'm Navy, so we'll never say I'm joining the Army, but I'll
sorry,
join the club.
just join the club. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to be clear. Joining the club. But
But
yeah,
my nephews are in the Army, so they'd love that you just said that.
yes. So, but no, I like it because there's people with all different fitness levels, and they have their, obviously with you being in the Navy, having a sports background, there's certain level of camaraderie that comes from
Yeah,
being in difficult situations,
absolutely.
that you can rely on, and that you have the ability years from later, like, oh man, you remember we were doing that. And
Yeah,
whether it's your Navy peers, me and my former teammates, like, you can rely on that. You can talk about that
yeah,
when you get together. You're like, hey man, you remember we were doing this? And I think what I like, what's growing, and what Chris and our staff is fostering in that space, is it's happening almost instantly. You know, we had some guys that came to the first class and they were struggling, and then somebody's picking them up. Never met them before in their life, and now they're picking them up. Hey, we got to get through this together. And
Yeah.
so having those things and creating that environment, it gives us a different level of accountability. As you can see on our wall, it says "iron sharpens iron,"
Yeah.
and so it's like you need that, and we
Yeah.
all need that. Whatever aspect of life, you need somebody that's sharpening your skills, and at the same time, you're giving them the tools to sharpen their skills. And I think that's what we're trying to create and foster here for our adults and our 7-year-olds. And so, like that's one of the things, like the same thing on the baseball field, the hoping to create that for all these
Yeah.
different athletes that are growing up.
Yeah. That is awesome. Yeah, and we've seen it. You and I are very fortunate that just in Little League Baseball, our kids
Yeah.
have been in a great team and had
Oh
great
yeah,
coaching
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, and been very lucky. So you went down the road of opening a gym.
Yes.
How'd you come to that decision? You were in healthcare
Yes.
and decided to open a gym.
Yes. So it's you never I think when you look back, you are like, man, that was a moment,
Yeah.
and like that was a moment in your life, and it was kind of like the road less traveled. You could have gone
Hmm.
either way and all that stuff. And so it back in February of last year, I was working as a VP up at a healthcare company up in New York. For whatever reason, there was a decision to kind of separate, and I had time to kind of think, and it was almost immediately as it happened. I was like, this is a moment for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was something. I went upstairs to my 15-year-old son, and was like, hey, this just happened. And I don't know what's going to happen in this next season, but I want you to watch me. And
Yeah.
because just something overwhelmingly came over my spirit that, hey, this was going to be an exciting chapter for me, whatever it was. Um, and then like instantly like, oh, let me just look for another job in healthcare. And like right out the gate within 2 days, I had a couple leads and interviews, and I was like, man, I don't feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Not necessarily like right now. I think there's something else out there. And so I'm scrolling Instagram, like we were talking about earlier. I'm
Yeah.
scrolling Instagram, and I came across D1 training. I started doing some research. My initial college position was fullback, and this company was founded by Will Bartholomew, who's a fullback. So I was like, man, there's not too many, business
Yeah.
guys that I know play the position of fullback on the football field. Started looking into it, and then as I started talking to different people around me in my close circles, man, it was just the overwhelming amount of support. Like,
Yeah.
Marv, this is what you were supposed to do. And so as I've gone down this road, what's been really amazing about this is that there's been different parts of the process
Yeah.
that you got some reaffirmations, like, hey, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And I remember like early on, still trying to figure out the job situation and all that. My dad, my parents, my brothers, my siblings, they were all, let's go for it. Like, what do you need from us? What do you need from support? Reached out to some of my college buddies, and they were like, hey, how can I invest? I believe in you.
Wow.
Like all these different things. And then even as we got closer, this location that we're in was my first choice. And they told us they were looking at something else at that point, and I was like, oh man. And then something whatever happened, and then it came back.
Their
And
first tenant fell through.
yeah, and so I was here, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's beautiful. And then when I was searching for my GM, going through the process, had a couple good candidates or whatnot, but nobody. I was like, man,
Yeah.
this is the guy. And then I get a resume, and it's Chris Holloway. Me and him played AAU basketball together 25 years ago.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and so I was like, and so each part along the process, there's been little things, and I was like, this is exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to early on in my healthcare career. I had a mentor ask me, "Hey, what do you want to like? What's the goal for you?" And I was 25 years old, dumb to the world, but my thought was like, I just want to make as much money as I can, help as many people as I can, and you kind of think about it at different points of your life. You don't really, go back to it, but along this process and just seeing as we've started to build this and just seeing the kids that are coming in here that are just excited, seeing the adults that haven't worked out for years come in here
Yeah.
because their kids are coming here and now they've joined. And we've only been open 2.5 weeks. And so it's just been an overwhelming process for me. It's just been full of gratitude of just following the dreams, following your passions and different things, and offering a space for others to follow that with you. And so even with my head coach, he used to be at Old Dominion for about 10 years. And when they had the job change, he lost his job in there and started doing other things, and then
Yeah.
came across this job, and it was like, man, it was a chance for him to get back into it. So not only having my dreams, but then being able to share that with the people on the staff and the people in the community, man, it's been an absolute blessing, and just having partners along the way that came along and wanted to help in and pitch in and join in. It's just like you feel like everything that you're doing is in the right direction, and it's exactly where the good Lord wanted you to be in this space. So
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. You're impacting one life at a time, but it makes a community impact and it's a
yeah,
family impact and all of it. And and so talk to me a little bit and I know because I've done this too. Starting a franchise, it's no joke starting a new business. So you're juggling right now um family life and you're a dad. You've got a gym and a new business. And so you get the gym aspect, which is awesome, but you also have the behind the scenes that you kind
yeah,
of touched on, hiring and staffing and HR and all and social media and all
yeah.
the stuff that goes with it. Um, and you're still working and still coaching football. How do you manage it all? Other
Man,
than a lot of blessings from the good
but
Lord.
it's I will tell you, like, I think what's been helpful for me is that I honestly feel like I'm fired up in every part of my life. Like
Yeah.
everything, like, am I tired? Absolutely. But like I'm excited about like everything that I'm doing in my life. And I just turned 40 3 weeks ago. And so
You just turned 40?
yes.
Man, I feel old.
So like to be in this space at this time
Yeah.
where it's like I'm excited about my marriage, I'm excited about my kids, even my healthcare job, I'm excited about. I'm getting in a position to great. I'm excited about the gym. I'm excited about coaching. And so I think in that space, like when you find things that you're just passionate about, you find energy,
Yeah.
and you find the will to get through it because everything, like it was funny. My neighbor, just a great guy. He was like, man, like he's like he talks to me every day. Like he's walking his dog, and we talk all the time. And he was like, "Man, I've seen you more fired up in the last 6 months than the previous 6 years."
Yeah.
And he's been my neighbor, and I'm like, "Man, it's exciting. It's scary."
Yeah.
As you know, like you go through ebbs and flows where you're like, "Hey, is this going to work?"
Yeah, well, and you're
Like,
responsible for people's, well-being and
yeah,
happiness and success and their paycheck.
yeah, exactly. And it's like it was one thing as a healthcare leader offering a job and a salary. Like I never saw that money. I had a budget. I just got
Yeah.
a budget, and now
Yeah.
it's like now it's coming. I see the account that it's coming
Yep.
out of, and so you want to make sure that like one, you surround yourself with people that believe in the mission, believe in the dream, and
Yeah.
all those different things. But then you also um, got to be in a position to kind of be objective a little bit and like
Mhm.
look at it from that 50,000 foot view. So it's like I love being in the day to day. I love being here every single day, but I also, I know that sooner or later, like because we have another gym opening,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pull back a little bit. So it's like, what am I instilling in the staff? What am I creating as a culture that they feel comfortable to do what they have to do and be in a position to be successful? But also, you know, it's my baby. So it's like you want to, like that's
Oh,
the thing
yeah.
about it. You, as you know, like when it's yours, it's yours. You don't feel like, and even though you could share it, you could have partners. You're always going to feel like it's yours.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, well, the staff, my partners, they're godparents right
Yeah.
now, and I want them to, wrap their arms around this baby. But it's just it's a lot of different feelings and emotion. But for me, it's like, yeah, I know I'm tired, but like I'm excited. Like
Yeah.
even having the conversation with you, like I'm excited about this because these are the things that you want to do. You want to connect with people. You want to be in a position to tell your story and learn from others as well. But also, just be thankful for all the blessings and things that have came your way because it can go the other way as well. And so I just been excited about everything.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I bought my brokerage when I realized when I was 40. I'm 48 now and and yeah, and I did not know at the time when I closed that I was pregnant with our third child, which was excitement because we decided if I was going to open the brokerage, we were done. We were
Yeah.
going to have two kids, all was good. My husband was still deploying and I knew that it was going to be a juggle for a while
Yeah.
and I bought into an existing brokerage, so a little bit different. In that I stepped into a role that was pre-existing. But when I closed on signed on the dotted line 5 days later, I found I was pregnant with my youngest, and I was 40 as well. And but I can totally relate to what you said about the it you start, and I still have struggles sometimes with the balance of it's my baby. I still sell real estate. I still list and sell because I love it. I love the clients. I love the people. Some of these people I've helped for
Yeah.
20 years, and then they come back to me and they send their kids back to me. I have also surrounded myself, especially on my own personal team, with people that I trust and that I have
Yeah.
taught and that know real estate, and they treat my clients just like I would. And there are times where I have to step back and let them handle the clients because I need to oversee things and I need
Yeah.
to look at it from, you know, the 50-foot view, like you said. But then on the flip side, it's hard because it's my baby. These are
Yeah.
my clients.
Yeah.
Like I got them started on their first home, and now they're coming back to me for their fourth home, or their kids are coming to me.
Yeah.
And so balancing that leadership role and that business owner role
Yeah.
with I want to be in the day-to-day operations because I actually love it. It's why I
Yeah.
got started in real estate.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't, I don't know that it does get easier. I think it gets easier as you surround yourself with people that you love and trust, that operate the same way you do, that carry the same morals, values, ethics, treat people the same way you do. Um, but it's always it's a constant. Like I try to step back in, and I believe in coaching,
Yeah.
like as you do.
Yeah.
So I have coaches in this realm of life, and I have coaches in real estate. And my real estate coach will be like, Amy, your job is people development and agent development. Let them take care of the sales side of it. And so you have obviously surrounded yourself by great people, and you have family support, which
Oh
makes
yeah.
it a
Absolutely.
thousand times
Yeah.
easier.
It's been. I think that's been like the great thing of like just everybody wanting to pitch in, like and I think like my brother, he coaches here. He's one of our
Yeah.
coaches, and he's the head football coach at the high school. He teaches. He has a family, and his family's on board. And then we have like our other partner, Leland. His family's on board, and so it's like I think as you kind of grow this and try to you know, it's still you still want to protect it, and,
Yeah.
and it's important to you that you protect it. And I think you're always going to be involved from like you want to make sure whoever's involved with your baby,
Yeah.
you trust and you value, and they can do what you need them to do.
They
And
represent
yeah,
you.
exactly. And I think that's where my kind of like overarching theme is. And I've told my staff like, hey, man, there's a standard, and the standard is the standard, and
Yeah.
we're going to meet that. And if you're not
Yeah.
meeting that, then we'll have to
Yeah.
go a different ways, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that this is my expectation. So I think I feel like I'll get comfortable when like I feel like the standard is consistently met.
Yep.
And I think they're doing a great job right out the gate. But I think there's going to be a time where I'm going to go more to the kind of the back end role. But I think like right now I'm excited about it, and
Yeah.
so I like selling, even though that's not really my role. I got a great GM that sells. I like being on the phone. I
Yeah.
like hearing people's stories and like
Yeah.
understanding where they're coming from fitness. And they have, oh, I got a budding athlete that wants to, go to the next level. And I'm like, okay, well, I know a little
Yeah.
bit about that. And so like,
Yeah.
let me guide you on that. Or I got a parent that says, hey, I'm trying to find myself, and like I
Mhm.
need community. Well, we're here to offer that to you.
Yeah.
And you have my cell phone number now, so call me if you need anything.
Yeah.
And I like having that local touch and that local feel, because D1 is a huge franchise. We just opened our 150th in Cary, North Carolina back in June. And so I think I'm like 154, 155 in that realm, and there's going to be probably 200 more in the next 3 or 4 years. But each one is unique, and like the same thing with Remax. Like your portion of it is going to be different. It's going to be
Yeah.
yours. It's going to be
Yeah.
authentic to you. And I think that's the thing. Like with franchising, like they'll give you the template, they'll give you the blueprint, but you still have to make it yours.
Yeah.
And
And the
I
success is still yours.
exactly, and I think that's the thing that I probably learned earlier than I thought I would.
Yeah.
As we were going to pre-sales, and I was like, I got to make this authentic to me and who I am. And so we
Yeah.
changed the way we market. We made it more personable. We
Yeah.
instead of having
Your wife Day's in the
yeah,
ads. She pops
yes.
up in my Facebook feed now all the time.
Yeah, so my wife and my one of my partners, Leland's wife, is in that ad, and
Yeah.
they're talking from a place of like truth. Like
Yeah.
their kids are athletes, and they're learning. They're trying to still work out. They want to keep up and do the
Yeah.
things. They're former athletes, and so it's all those different things. Is how do you make whatever you're doing in your space in your life authentic to
I was
you?
just gonna say, but you're so authentic, so
Yeah.
authentic.
So yeah, and that's why like I felt like I like that was important for me. Like what I kind of learned from the whole New York situation was like, man, I got to do what's true to me, and
Yeah,
if it doesn't fit right with what how I feel as a human as in my spirit, then I got to start finding ways not continually to do that. Like
yeah,
we're going to do things every now and then where we have to, where it's like this doesn't sit well with me. But I started to feel towards the end of my time up there that it was more and more less authentic to me. Like
yeah,
and all those different things. And if I'm just doing that for a paycheck, then it doesn't feel like it's going to be the thing that I need to do that's going to sustain me. And
yeah,
so it's like it was funny when all that went down. My wife said, "Hey, like you haven't snored since," and, and so like just in that
yeah,
same conversation, she was like, "You haven't snored," and I was just like, you don't know, you don't think about it, but then it's like now that I'm in a space where like everything that I'm fired up about and
yeah,
excited about, it's like when I sleep because I'm happy. I'm in a place of
yeah.
rest and I just enjoy doing that. So
That's amazing. Derek's gonna kill me for putting this on um, broadcast, but when he was in one of the most critical times in his Navy career, we were making big career
yeah.
decisions. He snored for like 2 solid months. My husband has never snored in all of our marriage. And it was when we made the decision and we moved forward with it, and there was no looking back, and it was some career changes and things like that. And he just stopped snoring.
Yeah.
Like he just started sleeping well again,
Yes.
and all was good. So yeah, I can identify with that. So you grew up as the son of a professional athlete, so sports and athletics has always been in your family and in your
Yes.
life. Do you think that shaped who you are and that mentality and that
Yeah.
drivenness, that
Yeah.
coachability?
Absolutely. I think one of the things I've told people, I have phenomenal parents. My dad, my mom, they've been some of my biggest supporters throughout my life. And but I always tell people like sports has been my greatest teacher,
Yeah,
um, because sports is probably one of the few places that you can do everything right and still lose.
yeah,
Like you can train the right way, you can do the technique that you taught and all those and still lose. And I'm like, there's nothing like, most of the time if you study really, really, really hard
yeah,
and you do your schoolwork, you do everything, you may not do great on the test, but you're going to usually have a good grade in that
yeah,
class and you're going to do well and you're going to be able to go to. But I was like, sports was the one area where it's like, I remember my last game, and we used to do graded out. You grade out like on a percentage base.
uh-huh.
And the last game of my college career, we were playing Appalachian State. I graded out 94%.
Wow.
So through the roof. My best game of my
Yeah,
career. Most of my games have been anywhere in the 70s to 80s. And so I did for all the plays I was on the field, I did them 94% of them absolutely
that's
correctly.
fantastic.
But what sticks with me is the last play, the second to the last play of the game, I didn't make the appropriate read on a block,
Uh-huh.
and I got dinged for that. And that play ended us not getting us a first down, and we ended up losing the game. And
Wow.
so, even in the best game of my possible career in 5 years,
Yeah,
to me, and I was like, there's nothing else like that. And I was
yeah,
like, so it's like when you're on the job and you're dealing with failures, like it's like in my mind, I'm like, hey, let's play the next play. It's over. There's nothing I can do about it.
yeah,
I got to get this next play. I got to
yeah.
do whatever I got to do. And so I think what's helped about sports, and I think sometimes the other part of it is like I think the one thing I've always had concern about was kids that specialize too early. I think what I enjoyed
Yes.
most growing up was not only playing different sports and learning different skills and all that, but the interaction with the different groups because sports can
Yes.
get very diverse. And so, some sports, you're dealing with kind of one population and another sport. I was like, man, I had the great opportunity to like play a different sport and had different sets of friends for each sport. Like
Yeah,
I had guys that I played football with that didn't play baseball. But
yeah.
then when I went to baseball season, I had those friends. And then when I went to basketball season, I had those friends. And I felt
We're
like it
getting
helped.
away from that
Yeah,
in society.
a hundred
Yeah,
percent. And so I felt like between the lessons that I learned on the field and then the interaction with the people around sports, it's been my greatest teacher. And then my dad has always kind of held that standard to me. And he was a professional baseball player, but didn't never force sports on me because he
yeah,
knew what it would take to be a good athlete. And so
yeah,
he's like, you got to want this.
Yeah.
And if you want to pursue this, I'll help you and give you the tools, but you got to want this for yourself. And so I think all those lessons has just been, extremely valuable. And I think it's helped me navigate not just in sports and in business, but in my overall career and how in my
Yeah.
family. And it's like one thing I always say, my kids will say, I'll hear me say all the time is how you do anything is how you do everything. And
Yeah.
that's something I've learned from my coaches. It's like, don't tell me you care about this team if you're not working hard, if you're not eating the right food, if you're not going to class on time, if you're not doing all those necessary things. You can't tell me you love this if
Yeah.
you're not doing all those things,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to look at what you do on the field. I'm going to look at what you're doing. Are you watching film? Are you
Yeah.
doing all those things? And so I think all those things are things I learned on this on a field, or I learned on a baseball diamond. And I was like, there's those so many things that are invaluable in that. And I think so. It's like I tell my parents, like, you've been great parents,
Yeah.
but my greatest teacher has been on this. I've learned so many different things, and I just part of this was giving that back to the next generation. Like, let me be a little small part of that, because they need it. And I think, and it's like you said, in that specialization,
Yeah.
maybe they come here and they're in a class with a basketball kid. They may not play basketball, but they're in a
Yeah.
class with a basketball kid. And maybe they might learn something
Yeah.
from that kid in this lifting session that they
There's
wouldn't
so
learn.
much to learn.
And
Yeah.
so like those things are like just critical and valuable to me.
Yeah. My 12-year-old last year, he just finished 6th grade, going to 7th grade. When he was in 5th grade, they made the offer up for the 5th graders to work out with the middle school football team, and he jumped right on it. And he never struck me as a football kid, but we've never pushed either way. I
Yeah.
was an athletic trainer for college football. I love college football. I spent a lot of hours on the field
Yeah.
and helping those guys. But the my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, well, we're not going to say no. He's got to figure it out for himself whether he wants to do it or not.
Yeah.
And he worked out with them in the gym. Now, when it came time to hit, my husband is tall and skinny. My kids are skinny and scrawny.
Yeah.
And I think you and I had this conversation
Yeah.
earlier. Your body will dictate some
Oh
of
yeah.
your sports.
100%.
But he loved that time learning from the other kids in the weight room. He'd never worked out in a
Yeah.
weight room, and he came home excited every day for the
Yeah.
skills he was learning from kids that, he's not going to end up playing football. It's just he's not his build, and he loves baseball.
Yeah.
Truthfully, he loves baseball, and he was swimming at the time
Yeah.
competitively. So, it fits him. But they all learn from each other, and I really love the fact that here in your classes it mixes us up a little bit.
Yeah,
Friendships.
absolutely, and I think that's important. Like I was talking to a parent earlier, and they were like, I feel like my son is disengaged and from sports, and I don't know if he really wants to do this and all that stuff. I just said, just bring them, just keep bringing
Yeah.
them, because what I think sometimes happens is we get so down the road of playing one sport that
Yeah.
it becomes a job. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We forget that we love it, and we forget.
Yeah.
And I think this to me is just a good offset to that. It's like, hey, let's come in here, let's get in the best shape of our lives. Let's do
Yeah.
what we can, and then we can go back to that sport.
Yeah.
We can go back, but now we're stronger, we're faster,
Right.
or we met somebody in here. Now we have a new friendship, and
Yeah.
so like I think there's like we have kids in here that go to the same high school, but they play different sports, and now they're scheduling classes together.
Yeah.
And now they have their own community
Yeah.
beyond and outside of what their sports that they're playing, but
Right.
it's like they have their own community and they're all in it together in
Yeah.
different schools. And I'm like, that's the one thing about sport, that's always been special is like you kind of put your differences leave them at the door, because you got to achieve a common goal. And on the field, whether it's winning a game together, or if it's in here, just getting through a workout together.
Right.
Eventually, or at one point or another, I'm gonna need you to spot me. I'm
Yep.
gonna need you to help me, or I'm gonna need you to push me. Like,
Yeah.
and that's life.
And those are life skills,
Yeah.
though. That's so critical.
Yeah, and I was like, that's life. Like, and so like, how do you foster that? And I was like, this is the perfect place, because whether you're on the battlefield, whether you're on the football field,
Yeah.
there was a time you needed somebody to push you. You
Yep.
needed somebody to spot you, and
Yep.
support you. So I'm like those are the things that I'm like, we can do that. If we can do that in every 54 minutes, we can change a lot of people's lives. And
Yeah.
and that's what I communicate to the team, and that's what I'm most excited about.
I love it. I love it. My nephew played travel baseball and all the way through Chesapeake and Great Bridge High School, and then at the end of high school decided he didn't want to play baseball anymore.
Yeah.
And it shocked my sister, who'd been playing since she was 7 years old, and he's doing an engineering degree at a heavy engineering school up in Indiana, and he's doing Army ROTC and crushing it. And I am convinced it was the skills he learned in
Oh yeah.
sports. It's those life skills that we're teaching through sports, the win, the lose, the depend on other people, the teamwork,
Yeah.
the hard work, that is going to allow him to crush life. I mean, he's just really doing a great job.
Yeah. I was listening to another podcast, and there was a study that I think 40% of the Fortune 500 CEOs were played college sports
Yeah.
at some level, and I think, you know, it's funny because like in high school they're jocks, oh they're brain dead, but it's like you're not, you're learning so many different skills. You're
Yeah.
learning how to interact with people. You're learning how to communicate in adverse situations, you know,
Yeah.
and different things, and then learning how to, most of the time, learn how to be calm
Yeah.
in those same situations.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, like when I'm in my job, in my healthcare job, like you're calm. I was like, man, this is just work.
Yeah. This is not.
There's not 30,000 people in the stands. This game is not on ESPN. Like,
Yeah.
it's just us completing a task together. And I was like, so let's relax, and
Yeah.
let's figure out how to move forward, because, and then so like I think sometimes that's a trait, that's a skill, that's a superpower that a lot of these athletes have.
Yeah. And they don't even realize they're learning it. They're just
Exactly.
learning.
They're just learning it. And it's like, just imagine if you could tap into that full time and just figure
Yeah.
it out what that looks like. Because to me, it's like, I think that's what helps me a lot of time. It's like, I don't get frustrated often.
Yeah. Dave
Because
said the same thing. He's like, he's just the most level.
yeah, and I was like, I've been in tougher situations. And so
Yeah.
it's like, you can't tell me, you know, that this task can get done when I've seen it done
Yeah.
in front of people, and
we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and we're gonna figure it out. And so like that, those are the things that I'm like, I like, if I can give anything to the next generation, it's that, like, learning how to be calm, you know, while everything else is going around you is going crazy, and like,
Yeah.
because you need that
Yeah.
in society,
Oh,
on the
yes, we
field,
do.
or in the workforce. Like, you're gonna need to know how to be calm when everything else, and because then
Yep.
people are gonna rely on you in those settings, and
Yep.
that's when you can come to life. So.
That's awesome. All right. So tell me what's next. You touched on it a little bit, and I didn't let you go too far down that road. You're headed towards another gym.
Yes. So my brother and Leland Clellan, we all kind of partnered together. So we're opening a second gym in Western Branch in February.
Woohoo! Go Chesapeake.
Yeah.
Two D1s.
Yeah. So we definitely want to, you know, we have a lot of membership now that's coming from over that direction and the Suffolk, and it's just a budding area. And you know, for me and us, it's just like, man, how do we create that community across,
Yeah.
you know, across all of Chesapeake? Because there was times like, and I told my brother, like, part of why we see some kids, you know, end up like going to private schools and leaving the area, not necessarily going to private school, but just leaving the area all in general, it's sometimes the athletic opportunities and the training facilities and things of that
Yeah.
nature. And I was like, man, if we have a Division I style facility right down the street, like, as much as there's been great athletes out of this area, how much can we impact the next generation of
Yeah.
that? And so, you know, we're excited. We're over the moon about just being able to have two, and one from an ownership standpoint. I have like really real, tangible lessons learned that I can
Yeah.
apply to the next one. And so it's like, now I'm going into that. This one I came in eyes wide open, and like,
Yep.
now it's like I'm more, you know, dialed in on like, hey, this is what we need. This is
Yep.
probably what we don't need right now.
Yeah.
Whereas early on, it's like, oh, let's just spend money everywhere and let's do whatever like we got it. Like, and I was like, now
Yeah.
it's like, it's more,
You're dialed
yeah,
in.
it's more dialed in, it's more focused. And I was like, it kind of helped me that we kind of did it in rapid fire, because I just finished construction here 3 weeks ago. And
This is amazing,
yeah,
by the way. The
yeah.
fact that you said you've been open 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then we're probably starting that construction process for the Western Branch in probably about a month or two. So I'm like,
What's your projected opening over there, you think?
February right now. So
Okay.
we're hoping, you know, we're hoping for January, so we can get there open right where the new year starts. But February. But I think that's the other thing I've learned in this process. And I've had friends tell me that, and when you're going through the madness and you're frustrated, you don't think about it. But I think everything is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And
Yes.
I think sometimes we want things, oh, I need it now. We want that instant gratification. Oh, I want it at this window. And
Yep.
for me, I was like, man, I wanted this open by my 40th birthday. I wanted to open it, but I celebrated 10 years of marriage in June as well. I was like, I wanted it all
Nice.
to happen at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it didn't. But what was beautiful about that is that I could enjoy my birthday without all the additional
Yeah.
stress. I could enjoy the anniversary without all the additional
Yeah.
stress. And now we're in a season now where it's like, and it's opening and we're thriving. People are coming in. So it's just been a blessing. But I think that's the, if I had the last lesson I learned out of all this is like, I think we always want things to happen on a certain time. And
Hmm.
what I've learned about anything, and probably in your life as well, it's going to happen exactly when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And you just got to be ready for it and be willing to,
Yep. Be
put in the
open.
time and be open to it. So
Yeah. Okay. So if people want to join the gym, they can come up here, go online. How do they do that?
yeah,
And
so
are you taking enrollments for the Western Branch Gym? And how does that work too? If they
yes,
join one, could they work out there?
yeah. So right now, if you were wanted to join D1 East Chesapeake, you can go to our website, D1 training at D1 Chesapeake online. Fill out a form there, and somebody from my staff will reach out. You can come up to the facility. We're open Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then Saturdays 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we'll be here most of those days. As far as Western Branch, we won't start that process until probably around October, November.
Yeah.
For memberships that are with me here that want to go there because it's closer, obviously we're going to work with some of them on their plans. We do plan to leverage both facilities. So we're going to, I think I shared with you, we'll do like sports-based training.
Yeah.
So we do plan to have like batting cages in here in September. We're gonna have batting cages over there in Western Branch, and so we'll have like hitting sessions or pitching sessions on certain
Yeah.
days. And whether you're at the West Chesapeake or East Chesapeake facility, you'll have access to those.
Nice.
So we're definitely going to make it a home, make it a family between the two locations, and we're excited because we're touching that part of Chesapeake, and then kind of local to my hometown and area right
Yeah.
now. So we're just excited about everything.
That's awesome. Well, it was really awesome getting to know you better, even though I
Absolutely.
see you on the baseball field all the time.
Absolutely.
And getting to see your facility. I will be back in 2 weeks after
2 weeks.
vacation by the time
Absolutely.
this airs and
We're
be
excited.
part of the 5 a.m. club. And
There you go.
it's been awesome seeing you and Day and Grayson again and reconnecting. And
Absolutely.
congratulations.
Thank
should
you
be
so much.
really proud.
I
This is
appreciate it.
awesome. So thanks for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed this special edition. We are always happy and honored to welcome local business owners to our podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode. And until then, have a great day.